Alright guys, so this is the teardown video. I went ahead and tore this thing all the way apart, basically down to the point where you can replace any part you need to. And here's that's the real cover there. And yeah, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing here. This is the spool here. Yeah, the spool is made of that hard plastic, the same stuff that, you know, the real cover and the real housing are made of. But look at the size of this ball bearing in here. This is a sealed ball bearing. Oh, it just fell in my hand here. Look at the size of this ball bearing, guys. That's pretty heavy duty bearing there. That's gonna last a long time. I just wanted to see what makes this reel so expensive, and I can tell you it's all the machining that they've done on their parts. You know, you can see all this whole crank here. I thought it was plastic at first. This is all aluminum, and I'm not sure if it's anodized or not. I don't know if they can anodize that color. I've never seen any aluminum that's anodized that color, but it probably is. I guess it's probably aluminum, anodized aluminum. And the same with that. And then this shaft goes all the way through from here all the way out, and then that basically is held on by a nut. This one right here goes all the way through the reel, and then that holds this assembly together here. Let me see. So you can see that's how this works here. So that long shaft basically goes all the way through, comes out this side right here, and then it's held on by that nut right there. That's the one you can see in the front. It's very easy to take apart. I think it's probably even easier to work with than the Muzzy. Not much to do here. I mean, they're both pretty simple, don't get me wrong. They're very simple, both reels. But this is, I'm surprised. You know, I thought it would be much more complex than this, and I was kind of afraid to open the case, but no, it's pretty simple. And I can't believe how many ball bearings there are in this. There's one right there. You saw that big one there. There's two on the main drive shaft right there, and you can see the anti-reverse is just as they show in their videos, engaging right there. There's another ball bearing on the other side. That's for their crank. That's the main crank gear right there. I feel real good about yanking an arrow out of the mud, knowing that the torque is going to be transferred directly into this stop bar right there instead of down into my main gears, like the Muzzy. So there's 3 more ball bearings. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball bearings right here already. You got 2 more right here. This is the gear that engages the main crank gear, and then this brass gear is what engages the main drive shaft right there. 2 more ball bearings, good size too. And then there's another one down there for the other side of the crank. So there's 3 more. So we got 6, 7, 8 ball bearings right there. That's very well built. As far as I can see so far, it's all looking real good. I'm going to tell you straight up, when I first got this thing, I was real nervous because I thought there was a lot of plastic parts, and they're not really all that plastic. This ring, I thought it was plastic, just decoration. This ring is actually made of metal, and it's painted. That goes around the helps hold the 2 halves together So there's these 3 bolts, nuts and bolts right there, and they go through and hold the 2 clamshells together. And then this is a retaining ring that goes on too. So that's actually metal. This drag system is very, very simple. There's no Teflon in there like the Muzzy has. And then that just this one little screw here pushes down on this part right there, and the harder it pushes, the more, friction there is, basically. And this spring here is to help keep tension when you tighten this bolt, basically right there. These springs, you can see these little springs here. These are the pickup pins, and these springs right here are what cause the clutch to push in and out. So that's what those 3 springs are. You can see the little LEDs there. I'm gonna probably just take those right off. I don't even want them on there. They're pretty useless. So I'm gonna try to just there. Oh, one turned on. Yeah, so those I'll just throw them in the garbage. Don't want them. But yeah, this so far, it's looking pretty good. I'm this reel seat here, I mean, it's pretty cool. I like the fact that it has the notches here, so when you actually put the bolt through the bottom of the reel base here, even if it's loose, you can't lose your reel. There's no way that reel is going to slide off. And the fact that this rod shaft is keyed, can't slip out of the way like some of the other reel rod mounts there are. And this part here goes on, slides over here basically, and helps hold the 2 clamshells together as well. And also the spool, this goes over in the spool too, so the spool rides in that, right behind this big bushing or big bearing here. I cannot believe, look at the size of that freaking ball bearing. You ain't got one of these in your Muzzy, I'm telling you that right now. This thing is built, this bearing is built to last. That too, look at those bearings on there. There's no bearings probably even half the size of that in a Muzzy reel. I'll do another teardown. Most of you guys already know what the inside of the Muzzy reels look like, and the quality is definitely not as good, without a doubt. I'm starting to think I got my money's worth here. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna put it all back together and mount it on my rod, or mount it on my mount it on my bow, and give it a good field test. One thing that I don't really like right out the gate is the fact that when I pull a bunch of slack line out, unless I have tension on it, I can't really use 2 hands to reel in the line, because I have to pull back on the lever right here, and that takes up one of my hands, so I'm cranking with my right hand, holding this with my left. There's nothing to put tension on the line, so it kind of, it's not that big a deal. We'll see how much of a problem that is, but this could have probably been made of aluminum. I would have probably liked to have seen that. I think one of the first wear points to be concerned about would be this right here, those notches, how they engage the drag system. So that basically, when you pull back on the handle, this spring depresses and allows this to engage in the slots right there, and that's how they allow the clutch to engage and disengage with the drag system. So you can have your drag set and still have the spool free spinning. So I hope this video shows y'all a little more about this reel. You know, I didn't listen to everybody on Facebook, you know, that's on there knocking them. You know, there's most of them haven't even had one in their hands yet. But I'm glad I went and got it, you know, because this reel looks like it's built to last. No joke. You saw it. There's look at these bearings in there, you know. Look at them. You know, only time will tell. I'm not saying it's gonna outlast the Muzzy, but I hope it does for $300, you know. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do some extensive testing with like weights and stuff like that, and see how much weight it takes to, you know, blow the pin out on one of these, as well as the Muzzy, and then do some field testing. And I'm not gonna stop doing reviews on this. I'm gonna keep testing it even throughout an entire year. I'm gonna do update videos to let you know if I'm still using it or if I went back to Muzzies. But that's basically where I'm at right now. As you can see, there ain't a whole lot to it. It's a pretty simple design, but it looks very well made. So yeah, if you have any questions or want me to check anything, just let me know. All right, take care, guys.